Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1379. Happy Monday. Welcome to the work week. It's a short week for me, but any week could be a short week. But I will be heading to Cubs convention later this week. First time like leaving the house outside of doggy daycare and the post office or the grocery store in like 3 weeks. So I'm excited to be around people. Gonna try to find some Topps Archives blaster boxes to rip on Thursday night. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, no Hobby Evolution. We'll be back on Monday morning. So we'll do it through Thursday, and then I'll head down to Chicago, and then we'll resume Hobby Evolution next Monday after the weekend. So looking forward to CubsCon. Did a lot of shipping yesterday, and also finished up my sorting for Cubs convention. And I was in my Cubs group chat. I was talking about how this might be in hobby terms, for my hobby, this is my favorite. Like January and February are my favorite hobby months because I'm getting prepared for Cubs convention and then spring training. And I do autographs, which we're going to talk a lot about autographs today. It was a wild weekend in a neighboring hobby, the TTM community, through the mail autograph collecting. We're going to talk about a couple of wild instances that broke over the weekend. But I am an autograph collector, and this time of year, I'm preparing for, getting my cards ready for Cubs convention, and then also as well as spring training. So, it's like, as I'm sorting through my Cubs, which is also like part of the fun, I'm going through my Cubs collection. So that's a lot of fun as well. So going through my Cubs and setting aside, and I've got some packs made up for some of my friends' kids and some others, whoever needs cards. I'll have plenty at Cubs convention this weekend. There was something else that I had, but I can't remember. So this is one of my favorite times in hobby terms, because I'm going through my Cubs and I'm creating custom cards to get signed at spring training, all that good stuff. We had some football yesterday. I watched the Bills. Was it Bills Broncos? Was that yesterday? What was yesterday's early game? Whatever game, Bills Broncos, right? Apparently I didn't watch much of it. It was on in the background. And then, but I did pay close attention to the Fly Eagles Fly, and they beat up the Packers. I was hoping for a 100-0 win for the Eagles over the Packers, but a win is a win, right? So who do the Eagles have next? I'll probably root against the Eagles next weekend, but I was rooting for an Eagles win yesterday. So the Packers won just as many playoff games this year as the Chicago Bears, and they split on the season, and a fingertip away from the Packers getting swept by the lowly, pathetic Chicago Bears this season. So tough times in Green Bay. Who do we have tonight? Vikings, Rams, I think, tonight. So I'll be rooting for the Vikings. I won't be disappointed if the Rams win. I want the Vikings to win, but it's one of those games where it's like, I don't care either way. Like, I have a favorite, like I want the Vikings to win, but really if the Rams win, I'm okay with that. It's not like the Packers or the Ravens. I don't want the Ravens to win. I know nothing about the Ravens. I've never, like, Ray Lewis, Lamar Jackson, Jamal Lewis. Like, those are the only Ravens players I know. So when it's the Ravens, like, who's even on the Ravens? I don't know. So we had some football, and I think the Lions play Washington. Is that who the Lions play next weekend? And I think that's a late game on Saturday. So I'll be at Cubs convention. I'll probably be hanging out because I have a hot take when it comes to Cubs convention. Most of you probably don't go to Cubs convention, but if you do, like the popular thing is Cubs bingo. And I flippin' hate Cubs bingo. It is just, I think the reason I hate it is when I started going to Cubs convention, I didn't know anybody. Like my buddy Dave and I would go. And then once Club 400 was a thing, meet all these friends. And now it's like, I've got friends. And of course you meet friends along the way at Cubs convention. The more you go, the more people you meet and hang out with. So now it's just like, now and I think it was the first 2 years, you have to like wait in freaking line. It's a fire hazard upstairs. They shut off the escalators. It's just a giant shit show. They won't let you sit down. So you're like smushed like sardines. I just want a beer. And you can't, like, you've got to fight your way. You've got to Dallas, Goddard. You've got to stiff arm your way to get a fucking Bud Light. Hate it. So I stopped going to Cubs bingo after, I think, my second year. And I hung out that third year. I hung out in the hotel bar, and it's like a who's who of former Cubs: Bobby Dernier, Ray Burris, Tim Stoddard, Pete Lecoq. Who else? There was like 8 Cubs down there. Gary Matthews. I don't know if Leon Durham was down in the bar or not, but I mean, we're talking like 7 or 8 former Cubs just hanging out in the bar, and that was a lot of fun. I'm like, screw Cubs bingo. I'm hanging out in the hotel bar from now on. So that's what I do. Although one year, I think a couple of years ago, like all of my friends played Cubs bingo, and like nobody I hung out with was in the like bar or lobby. And so it was just like twiddling my thumbs. Like, okay, maybe I should have went up to play Cubs bingo. I did play Cubs bingo. Like I went at like halftime. We had a big group that stayed out of it. But then Stu came down and he's like, yeah, I'm just floating around. So I'm like, all right, I'll go up with you, and sat down and I played a few rounds of Cubs bingo, but it was like on my own terms. Like I didn't have to wait in line, and I don't like people holding seats and wait. I feel guilty if somebody's like holding the line and then I just go slip in later. Like, hey, here I am. Thanks for holding my seat. So if there's a spot open, maybe later in the night, I'll go up there. Brian says, I ask every year, what the hell is Cubs bingo? It's bingo at Cubs convention. It's bingo. It's just Cubs bingo. Instead of bingo, it's CUBS. So Wayne Messmer hosts it. It takes up the entire freaking ballroom. All like, gosh, it's 25, 30,000 square feet up there. And it fills up. It's like, and people still in that huge room are still like not enough tables. People are sitting on the floor playing bingo. You win prizes like autographed baseballs. I think there's tickets. The grand prize. Yes, he actually does sing the national anthem first. Let's see. What else? The grand prize is flags that have flown over beautiful Wrigley Field. Something like that. I forget. I don't go there anymore. After you've been there once or twice, it's like you remember it's been a few years since I've gone. Well, I guess last year a little bit, but so you win like Cubs prizes. So it's Cubs bingo, Cubs convention. Cooter says you went live from an F-150, but you can't go live from CubsCon week. I mean, I could go live, but really in the mornings, I don't have any time because I'm usually sleeping in from what I'd like to sleep in longer, but because I'm usually up late. Sometimes like 3 a.m. late, which as you know, I am not a 3 a.m. late kind of guy. That's only been a few times over the years. But I sleep in. I'm really not in the mood to do a live show from Cubs convention. Dave says, question of the night during Cubs bingo, U18? I don't think Wayne Messmer, does he do that anymore? It's kind of like, since the Me Too movement, it's kind of been like, I don't think that's really appropriate, especially like there's a bunch of kids that are probably in that age range. It's like, I don't know if we should be making jokes like that. Yeah, maybe 10 years ago it was okay, but I don't know. Victor skips bingo. Yeah, bingo's just not my thing. I do think, and I tell first timers this, just do it. Dave says Wayne Messmer does not do it anymore. Okay. What was I? There was something I wanted to comment about. Oh, first timers playing bingo. I do recommend, if you are planning, to ever go to Cubs convention and you've never been, I do recommend trying out bingo, because it's something you may love. Like a lot of people, obviously, it's like a full house. There's way more people that enjoy bingo than are like me and say, screw it, I'm staying in the lobby. So I do recommend trying it because you might enjoy it. Here's a good one from Bink. A Tony La Russa 1973 Wichita just popped up on eBay, autographed $399. Thoughts on that price? That's high. But it's also super scarce. I do have that card. It's not autographed. I have the set, 73, I believe, Wichita Arrows. Tony La Russa's in there, Paul Russell. They completely butchered the last name Russell. There's a few others that had some cups of coffee with the Cubs, but Tony La Russa is the big card in that. I got that set for an absolute steal on eBay, like back in like 2017 or 2018. And it's slabbed too. PSA 8 Auto 10. I still think that's high. But I mean, you probably can't find. And Tony La Russa signs through the mail. At least he did, which we're going to talk about today. And I'm sure that's probably where this Tony La Russa 1973 Wichita. So yeah, there's no other Tony La Russas. That's a pretty cool. So let's not just talk about it. Let's show it. And I love the eBay user's name, Minneapolis Millers, which is a former minor league team. So here's what Bink is talking about. Even inscribed Hall of Fame 2014. I still think 400's high. The J.P. Kelly Bank, 73 Wichita Arrows. Very cool. I do think 400's a bit high on that. You can typically find the complete set for around 200. They don't pop up too often. I think I got mine for like 20 or 30 bucks. Guess where? At auction on eBay. Of course, it was more than 10 years or more than 5 years ago. Let's see. Here, let's share the screen. So this is the Wichita Arrows. J.C. Martin, Clint Compton, Matt Alexander, Davey Rosello. So a lot of singles. There's old Pete Lecoq. Ron Tompkins, he had a cup of coffee. Ron Tompkins, he was on a rookie card. Johnny Bench, was he on Johnny Bench's rookie card, Ron Tompkins? He was on somebody, on a Jim Hibbs, big name. For who? Jim Hibbs is not a big name. Maybe it's a big name in the set. Chris Ward, J.C. Martin, Floyd Weaver. Tom Lundstedt, he's in real estate now, here in Wisconsin. He also had a cup of coffee. So did Jim Todd. So there's no complete sets. There you go. But it's a cool piece. Thinking maybe offer 350. If you, heck, if you want to pay 350 for it, I still think that's too. I'm cheap though. I'm cheap. I also have the card in my collection, so it's not something that, like, if I wanted, like, I could just send it through the mail. I mean, I don't know if I would risk it since it is such, it's a rare card, but it's kind of like, I got the card. I don't need that. But I mean, if you think it's worth 350, I'd definitely offer that. Cooter says Wichita had the light poles inside the fence back then. Only time I ever saw an outfielder make a catch behind the lights. Very cool. John says, Bo maintained the floor on LaRussa Autos. Don't cave. And see, this is probably my first recommendation. Hit the watch button. I don't think there's offers open on that particular item. Hit the watch button, see if they send an offer. Sucker never comes up. Yeah, it's hard to find. It's hard to find. I probably have one. Mine is probably in there somewhere. I blogged about it when I got the set. I can probably find. Let's see. Because I bet in my blog I posted how much I paid for it. So I blogged about it in February of 2018. Here, let's share this tab. This is legit one of my favorite pieces in my Cubs collection. 73 Wichita Arrows team issue, Chicago Cubs, Tony La Russa exclusive. So there's my copy. Let's see. All right, talk about something else. Talk about La Russa and his Cubs. I must not have posted how much I paid for it. But I know I paid because I'm cheap. I know it was pretty minimal. And it is the complete set. So there's 2 cards each of 2 of the players. Jim Hibbs might have been one of them. Yeah. So there are 2 cards of Jim Hibbs in the set, identical with one minor exception. One card has his position on the same line as his name, while the other card has catcher below Jim Hibbs. So there's on the one line, and then I don't think I showed the picture of the second one. So there you go. 73 Wichita Arrows. John says you can get La Russa to sign it for $50. Why are we paying 3 figures? Try to find the actual card. That's the problem. And that's for me. That's for me. I would not pay, because I would pay the $50 because I have the card. But try to find the card. There's none on eBay right now. There's one on eBay, and it's the one that's signed for $400. So it's just a super rare card. All right, let's go back to the top. Let's go up and say hello. Christian's in the house. Good morning. Mr. Archer is here. What's happening? Victor says, good cold morning. Yeah, it's a brisk out there, baby. Cubs convention will be hot. Yes. Good morning, David. John says people are highly overrated. Porter's in the house. Good morning. Kevin's here. What's happening? Philly Joe is here. Good morning. Enjoy Cubs convention. Thank you. Which days am I in Arizona? I fly out March 4th and get back on, so I'll be there March 4th through the 12th. And unfortunately, I think last year they flipped the flight schedule, and so it was an afternoon flight, and an afternoon flight. So I had like one full day less out there, and now it's back to early morning flight. No, last year it was early morning flight. Maybe it was 2 years ago I had an afternoon flight. And then again this year I'll have a early morning flight, and then either an afternoon or evening flight on the flight back, which is nice because even on the flight back, like last year, I think I just had to. I think my flight was at like 3 or 4, so I hung out on the backfields until like 1:30, because it's only 10 minutes from the airport, and gassed up and everything before I took the rental car back. John wants to know, will you ever hang that picture up? When I get wall space, I will. I guess I could hang it in that particular spot, but I don't have any wall space. Maybe in a bedroom. Kevin says, the scammer forging Corbin Carroll SIGs. I saw that too. Yes. Crazy stuff this weekend. Brian's here. What's happening? Good morning. Zach says, if anyone needs a Bo Spencer Thompson auto, DM and I can get you an address to mail it to. Any dirt residue from the fingernails left on the card, no extra charge. Michael Renicky, good morning. Troy's in the house. Good morning. Andy Mack is here. Bears have a better win percent in 2025 than the Packers. They sure do. They sure do. Skull. I'm skolling tonight. I'm Skull Vikings. Zach says Packers lose to Vikings, Bears, and Eagles to end the season. $220 million quarterback looks like Rex Grossman. Yeah. Ray Rice was a Raven. Packers definitely reached their health insurance deductible for 2025 yesterday. Porter says, you beat me to it, Zach, or Dad. Todd says, good morning. I saw the Bears want to talk to Notre Dame head coach. Are they overthinking this search? I don't think they're just they are throwing everything at the wall. They are throwing everything at the wall. And yeah, they interviewed Ron Rivera. They've interviewed just about everybody, which is good. Like, some of the guys in my Cubs chat, also Bears fans, are like up in arms over who they're interviewing. I don't care who they're interviewing. I care about who they hire. Like, they can interview the homeless guy on Michigan Avenue. As long as they don't hire him, I'm okay. So they can hire whoever the hell they want. I hope they're not overthinking the hiring process. I hope. Ben Johnson is still the guy. So there's really only two names that I would want as the next Chicago Bears head coach. Number one, Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator. Number two, Pete Carroll. The only two that I didn't want Mike Vrabel, and he's gone now. He went to the Patriots. Certainly didn't want Mike McCarthy. Dallas did not allow the interview. I don't want Marcus Freeman. I don't want Aaron Glenn. Todd Monken is an interesting, I think he's the Ravens offensive coordinator. Kind of a dark horse, but I don't know. But what the hell do I know? Not much when it comes to football. Zach says, yes, they play the Washington Guardians. There you go. Yes, Washington. The exorcism of ghosts of Lions past continues. Lions have no past. What the hell are you talking about? John says, when you say who's who, it may be more like, who are you again? Brian says, we talked about Cubs bingo. Bears have never been accused of thinking, let alone overthinking. CUBS is a wonderful description of the Cubs. CUBS is a wonderful description of the Cubs organization. And Wade Messmer does sing the national anthem before Cubs bingo. Yes, he does. Does Eddie Vedder ever go to CubsCon in disguise? I don't think so. Victor skips bingo. Zach says the ego Nick Foles gave Eagles fans is beyond reproach. Eagles lost skins in conference championship game. Big loss to those fans, I am sure. Cooter says second place is 2 flags that flew over Wrigley Field. John says, wouldn't it be great if he dressed as a disheveled person to blend in? Check that. He is a disheveled person already. He'd fit right in. Orlando's in the house. What's happening? Cooter says, Orlando. John says, I'm not sure the Eagles have ever lost to the Redskins in the conference championship game. Zach says, Lions lost to Skins. He doesn't do it anymore. Talking about Wade Messmer. Bingo, skill game. Porter says he's grooming kids for the bleacher creepers. Let's see. Zach says, I feel like wrestling talk had a bigger audience here than Cubs convention talk. Just wait till next Monday. Is it higher or an outlier? Where are we at? John says, who will be half raising the flags if the flag raisers are at CubsCon? La Russa is high more times than not. BAC 0.18, Hall of Fame 2014. Orlando says, nice card. Get it while you can. May not see another one autographed anytime soon. Cooter says, Wichita had the light poles inside the park. Oh, we talked about that. Porter says, the new episode of The Card Life features a segment on Milwaukee police cards. I heard about that because they're bringing them back, or they did bring them back. Merle would click watch. John says, Bo, maintain the floor on La Russa autos. Don't cave. Let's see. Sugar Shane's in the house. I wish eBay could fix where you could see every offer from a single buyer instead of looking through 50 offers for the same username. I agree. It is a pain in the ass. Offers are a giant pain. I wish there was a way to like bulk accept or decline. Like I'll get, sometimes even 10 takes a long damn time. And like you go in here and I only have 7 active offers right now. And they're probably not good. That's why they're still active. And I'll just let them expire. eBay's just being eBay, taking forever. All right. So anyway, yeah, I agree. Offers are a pain in the ass. And at least sending offers, when you send out offers, you can just do it in bulk, like just 10%. Sometimes if there's like a higher dollar item, it's like, I'll take 25% off. I'll just send a single offer on that item. Everything else, just blanket 10%. But somebody sends you offers. I had a guy send like 85 offers and I had to go through, click, accept, and do like 17 clicks per, not really 17, but multiple clicks per offer. It took me like a half an hour to accept all these damn offers. John says, hot damn, that's a lot of traffic. Andy Mack says, good morning. That dude from Duryea, what's up? I would not assume Tony La Russa minor league card would be a big card. Note taken. It's, I think it's just, I don't really think it's a big card, but it's a rarity and he is a Hall of Famer. So there's that like, and it's basically his only playing days card. I don't think there's another playing days card of Tony La Russa. And it's just super rare. And it's also that, it's only playing days card, to my knowledge, of Tony La Russa, who's a Hall of Famer. It's a Cub, and of course Tony La Russa, probably most known for, kind of split between the Athletics and the Cardinals, but big time Cub rival manager. So it's kind of got that mystique to it as well. Porter says, I didn't even get 20 offers on my Skeens rookie auto. He might be talking in volume on different items. Yes, that's definitely a good day, but 30 to 50 offers a day on 22K listings, best offer on every listing. And that's where I'm at. I have offers open on everything. Some days more than others. Bing Scott says, John Keating, did you shut down your YouTube channel? John says, Rooney Rule means you need to interview X amount of minority coaching candidates. Notre Dame coach covers that. And they also, the Bears probably already covered the Rooney Rule. I'm trying to think of who all the Bears, see if we can go to Twitter. I'm pretty sure Aaron Glenn has been interviewed. And how many does it have to be? 2? So they interviewed Ron Rivera, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, Mike Kafka, Pete Carroll, Anthony Weaver, Drew Petzing, Mike Vrabel. So those are the completed interviews. So they've done at least 2, and I don't know who else would fall under that. Tracy, good morning. Merle says McCarthy's contract expires tomorrow, so maybe the Bears are waiting for that. Oh, I didn't realize that. Did not realize that. Sugar Shane says Monken was definitely one of the best offensive coordinators Georgia ever had. Got us 2 national championships in 3 years. Nice. Mark is here. Good morning. Joe Caprino says, ban those hating on the Cubs convention. Yes, you're banned. Low Rollers in the house. There you go. Talking about Pokemon. I'm not going to do that. John says he has a 1969, I think. 1968, Tony. Oh, yeah, I'm a dumbass. He has Topps cards. I'm a dumbass. Yeah. I'm a dumbass. I forgot he had all those Topps cards. All those Topps cards. 72 Braves. There you go. Played 1 game for the Scrubbies in 1973. Scored a run as a pinch runner. Put it on the card. For the record, not trying to get everybody to buy La Russa cards. He's pumping the market. Dad Dude from Duryea says he must have been great if he has a minor league card 5 years later, right? I just knew Bo had that card. Yeah, so I'm different. Like, would I pay that? No, I wouldn't pay that. If I didn't have that card and I was an autograph Hall of Fame collector, yeah, I'd probably I'd shoot some offers. And I think that's kind of how we, like a Ryan Sandberg auto, you're like, hey, you want this Ryan Sandberg auto? No, I've got a bunch of them. Do you want it for $5? No, I don't. But if I didn't have a Ryan Sandberg auto, I'd pay $10 or $15 for it. Where are we at? Porter says, I'm not sure how to get into TTM. I'd like to get James Wilder to sign an orange Sharpie. Is that a reasonable request? Absolutely. I don't know if James Wilder signs through the mail. You can find that out. You can get him to sign an orange Sharpie, but you'd have to send the orange Sharpie. Because how many people have orange Sharpies laying around? So as long as you send him the orange Sharpie and he signs through the mail, I'm sure that's a reasonable request. So if you we're talking about through the mail autograph, and it was a wild weekend in that hobby this weekend. If you're not familiar, TTM is through the mail autograph, through the mail for autograph collecting. So if you'd like to start, this is the website for you, sportscollectors.net. There's a free version, and I think it costs, basic membership is free. Just sign up and you can get limited like addresses and results back for, you can see SIGs by mail previous week, 7 days. And you can just do that week after week. You can just look at the previous 7 days. Or for $15 a year, you have access to all returns. You can get addresses. You can post in the forums. You can find historical matches. You can search James Wilder and see. I mean, for $15, that's pretty good. I've subscribed in the past. I'm not currently subscribed. But you can go SIGs by mail. Do I really have to sign in? Players and teams. I just want to see returns. I thought there was a way without signing in that you could see that. So here's latest SIGs by mail. Football. Making me sign in. So you can log in and you can do that. But if you pay the $15 for a whole year, you can go in and see, does James Wilder even sign? There's probably, what's the other one? Sports Card Forum, which might even be bigger than sportscollectors.net. Sports Card Forum. Let's see. Football card. Where's TTM? For TTMs and anything autograph. Let's share this tab. Let's see. Is there TTM manager successes? So this is sportscardforum.com, sportscollectors.net, and sportscard forum. Let's see. And you might be able to go and be like, hey, TTM manager successes. I don't know what this means. Alex Avila just signed. I wonder if we can do a search of this site. Let's. I'm determined to find out James Wilder. All right, we're typing in James Wilder. Ah, fuck, you got to sign in here too. All right. So there you go. Those are two websites. Low Roller says, I saw you list hockey card today. Probably. Johnny M says, good morning. I see no one is arguing with you being a dumbass. Well, okay. I'm signing on behalf of James Wilder. Porter says, Addy. Oh my, entrapment. So how about that? So this weekend, there was some wild stories break on in the through the mail autograph collecting scene. The first was really wild. So somebody, and I don't know if the detectives, the TTM detectives have gotten to the bottom of this, but basically what happened was somebody was posing as Corbin Carroll and accepting mail as Corbin Carroll from Newport Richey, Florida. So if you are into TTM collecting, do not send cards to Corbin Carroll in Newport Richey, Florida, because it is not Corbin Carroll. This person was signing Corbin Carroll cards and then keeping some and then requesting like color and serial number Corbin Carroll cards that Corbin Carroll didn't have in his collection. Come to find out, somebody was like, this is suspicious. Newport Richey, I don't think there's current millionaire athletes hanging out in Newport Richey. And somebody smelled something was up. Also, by the way, Corbin Carroll's from like Seattle and plays for the Diamondbacks, which are in Arizona. And the Diamondbacks also train in Arizona. So it's not like it's a Florida spring training thing. So it didn't pass the smell test. So somebody in one of the TTM Facebook groups reached out to Corbin Carroll on Instagram. And he's like, no, that's not me. I hate seeing collectors get scammed. Tell people not to send my cards to Newport Richey, Florida. So come to find out and all this. So it's going to be interesting to see if anything does come about. Had a discussion in a group text about, what are the legal ramifications of this. And, you can probably argue back and forth the legalities or illegalities of posing as somebody else. And I'm sure it's some kind of law was broken. Now would this get prosecuted? Probably not. They're just going to say it's probably a minor, my guess. And so somebody doxed the address and it's like a 50-year-old dude, but of course that's the homeowner. Now, 50-year-old dudes can have kids that, remember when you were a kid, how many times did you pick up a John Montefusco card and I'm going to write down my Goodwill pallets? Do you know how many fake autographs I find in my Goodwill pallets? And you can spot them from a mile away. The handwriting on the letter that was shown, that was sent back from quote Corbin Carroll, it looks like a kid, teenager, just fucking around trying to get free cards. So probably, if anything happens, it's probably going to be a knock on the door. Hey, knock it off, kid. And it goes away. So that's the Corbin Carroll. That's the wildest to me. Cause I don't know if I'm sure this has probably happened, but now in the age of social media and, Twitter and Facebook and all that, it's, this is the first instance that I've, heard of in the viral landscape of the internet. Second of which was also wild, but completely different. Well, not completely different, kind of the same. Somebody forging Tommy John autographs. And not just somebody. Tommy John's ex-wife. Not only was she signing for her ex-husband, she was cashing the checks for his signing fee. Tommy John's got an autograph agent. Autograph agent is very active. I think the autograph agent is also Jose Canseco's autograph agent. And he's very active. His name's Mike. He's very active in the autograph groups, and he seems like a great stand-up dude that's very helpful to the community. And so he posts, he's like, hey, this is what's been going on. We need like paper trails, take photos of the autographs, any canceled checks. And apparently it's been going on for quite a while. So don't send autograph requests to Tommy John in Indiana, where his ex-wife, at whatever address it was in Indiana, because it's his ex-wife, signing and cashing the checks. I'm sure this has been happening since autograph requests started happening decades ago. You know, I've received, I used to be big into through the mail autograph sending back in probably around 2006, 7, somewhere in that range. No, maybe it was 8 or 9, 2009, 2010. I can't remember, but I was really big into it. Sent out hundreds, if not thousands of requests. And there were some where it was a Cub from the early 80s. I can't remember which one it was, but it looked like this is not his autograph. And I'm sure I have them in my collection somewhere. I'll have to get it out. But if I looked, I think he played on the 82 Cubs. And if I looked at the 82 Topps Don Russ checklists, and I see the name, I'll be like, oh, that's the guy. And I'll look up, because it looked like a high school girl's handwriting, a junior high, you know, it's very loopy and just pretty. His autograph that I received back in the, it's like, this does not look like a real autograph from whoever it was. I'm sure this has been happening. I'm sure. I mean, hell, there's been stories where parents and friends have signed the certified, quote, autographs for Topps and Panini. There was one that came out, and this was several years ago, like in the early 2010s, I think. There was a player, and I think his dad might have played back in the day, where his dad signed some, and they're like, yeah, they found one on eBay, and they're like, and I think he told the story on Reddit or somewhere, and it's like, yeah, like, when I was signing these Bowman autograph cards, you know, my dad signed like half of them, and this one on eBay that my dad signed that one. It's just, it's crazy. It's like, it's like, what do you trust? Who can you trust? And that's why, like, my in person, like, I know, like, that black binder right there, every one of those autographs I got in person. And I know every one of those is legit and signed by the player that's featured on the card. Brian says, my buddy lives in Alex Rodriguez's old house and gets TTM all the time. And I mean, that's the thing. And so in my text string yesterday, you know, a part of you would be like, oh, let's just fuck with these collectors. You know, when I get a text, I used to get phone calls and voicemails from this older guy, and he'd be talking about, you know, hey, haven't heard from you in a while. And this went on for years. And I get these calls, and I just laugh. And I think I text back. I think he texted me, because he was a phone caller. You know, I'm not a phone call person. I'm a texter. And I think he eventually like texted, and I said something that it drew a red flag. Like, I don't think this is my friend. He wouldn't say this. I probably said, like, what was the popular term like 10 or 15 years ago? YOLO. YOLO. He's like, this isn't Hank. Hank wouldn't say that. What's YOLO? But yeah, if you were getting Alex Rodriguez's mail, I mean, there's a part of me that would be like, sign it and return it. Big Scott says, back in the early 90s, I placed an order for some cards, and the lady asked me if I was the Gary Scott. I said, unfortunately, I am not. Or maybe fortunately. Fortunately. Are you the Gary Scott? Is Tommy John's ex-wife Luka Doncic's mom? There you go. Could be. Why have you been signing Gary Scott autos then? Yeah, he's been signing Gary Scott his whole life. Merle says, I was asked for an auto while walking around Ho-Ho-Cam back in spring 1992 from a kid who probably had special needs. I feel like I should have done it. I was wearing a Cubs jersey. What do you think? I mean, you could have signed it like your name. Like, yeah, here's who I am. I don't know why you want my autograph. It's not like you're forging somebody else's. He wanted your autograph. He wanted Merle's autograph. You could have signed it for Merle. It's me. They're going to get home. His parents are like, they're looking at the roster. There's no Merle on the Cubs. Who's Merle? Porter says, not TTM related, but have any of you adopted the shipping label team film method yet? Oh, the Porter. So in the Facebook group, genius idea. I have not. I don't use team bags that often, so I have not adopted this method. So what Porter did, genius. So he takes the back of a label. I don't think I have a label around here. He takes the back of a label, sticky side up, tapes the sticky side up over on the side of his desk. And when he peels that damn little plastic film from the team bag, he puts it on the sticky, and you don't have little plastic film all over your room, and you're not tracking it. You're on your socks or shoes. So I have not done it, but I know some people probably are going to adapt that method. Genius. Merle says, I told him he wouldn't want my auto. I still feel like I turned down a fan. He might have wanted your auto. Orlando says, Dr. Beckett just posted on YouTube, Ramblings with John Keating. A must listen. Yes, a must listen. Porter wants a link. Let's see if I can find a link. Dr. Beckett, Sports Card Insights. It might pop up on my, there it is. Pops right up on my screen. Wow. It's John Keating Day on YouTube. Look at this. Look at this. Over on the left, you've got Ramblings with John Keating on Dr. Beckett's Sports Card Insights. Over here on the right, you've got Mail Day. That 70s card show, Zach and Porter. How about that? It's John Keating Day on YouTube. So let's see. Here is share, copy, and there's the link. That is to Dr. Beckett's. Let's not leave Zach and Porter out. Let's put a link in to their video.
Hey, Hobby World.
Hey, Hobby World. Let's like that button. There we go. And here we go. So there you go. John Keating Day. By the way, here's Zach and Porter's channel. Zach and Porter. Look at that. 1 million Cubs right there. There's John Keating. Herman. Sports Card Nation. Sports Card Nation has 17 zillion stickers. Hobby Quick Hits, which I also think is part of Sports Card Nation. Ooh, I don't know what this one is. SOD, SOQ, Aloha, Mr. Hand. There you go. Let's see. Bing says, John Keating talking about LaRussa with Dr. B. Do you happen to have the link to John's To Catch a Predator episode? I think that comes out tomorrow. National Holiday Keating Day. It is John Keating Day, January 13th. All righty. So I think that's what I had for today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget my eBay store, even though I haven't shilled it yet. 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more, buy it now items at regular price, and you'll save 25% off at checkout. I did add some new items yesterday. I added some more lots. I'm going to be adding a bunch of singles in the next couple days, I think. So check that out. 99centcards.com. I do have auctions ending tonight. Last night, man, was brutal on my auctions. I had shitty auctions. I'll admit my auctions were pretty shitty last night. So they're just going to be recycled into the buy it now section. I'm probably the wrestling cards that went unsold. I think I sold 1 out of like 75 auctions of wrestling cards. That was a big waste of 15-cent insertion fees. They'll probably go into my eBay store, buy it now for 99 cents. So I've got auctions ending tonight. Tomorrow's Tuesday, and so we do eBay auctions live here on YouTube, 7 p.m. Central tomorrow night. And then Wednesday, I'll have auctions, and then we'll take a break on auctions until I'll get some started tonight to end next Monday, but we won't have any auctions ending Thursday through Sunday, as I'll be downtown Chicago for Cubs convention this weekend. Let's see. Dad Dude from Duryea wants to know, does the post office get the day off for Keating Day? Porter says, nope, just wieners at half chub. Keating needs to replicate the Herb Washington pose on his logo on a stamp. There you go. All right. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and shop my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Have a wonderful Monday, and we'll see you in the morning tomorrow.